Hey, real quick, before the show, do you like food? Of course you do, and HelloFresh is one of our favorite sponsors. The best ingredients, the best portions, all delivered to your door. Go to HelloFresh.com/Genius16 and use code Genius16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode of Genius Bar. Here's the show. Let's do the thing. Sara Dietschy's here.
Sam, I was threatening before you showed up that I'm going to take over this podcast if you don't step it up, you know? It'll be the John and Sarah show.
Well, Sam thought it was a genius idea to go out for a run right before the show. So he's like, this is not an act. He didn't put water on himself. He's just that wet.
Bro, well, I can't do it. I can't do this heat anymore. I got to move to Iceland. They don't have
It's your fault.
there.
You went outside and did the thing.
Dude, because how am I going to? It's hot boy summer, John. Okay, I can't be a hot boy inside.
Also,
I'll be a cold boy.
So Sarah showed up while you were gone, and I was like, we should just start the show without Sam and have him just show up.
Sounds about right. That's a good analogy for my life. I just kind of show up places and people are like, oh.
Sarah, how are you? Long time no see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here again. And I was telling John before that I think I equally came unprepared, just like Sam, because I kid you not. I'm so glad you texted me, Sam. For the audience, I don't know if they know this, but this podcast is recorded after hours, okay? 8 p.m. outside of the workday. So even though I have everything in my calendar.
There's a lot of judgment in that statement. It's recorded outside of the workday. Okay. All right, Mom.
Saying, all I'm saying is it's okay. The first podcast, I was so ready. I had my professional setup ready. I had a freaking blazer on, you know. I was ready. And now you have me against a white background with AirPods in my MacBook, and it seems like a shitty internet connection. Apologies.
It's good.
So let me explain. So we just moved, and it was like, you know, I was working end of a long day, and I was like to my fiance, John, I was like, hey, we should check out that new Japanese place. Let's go hang out. And usually I'm like a 1 drink person, but we were just like living it up. And I'm like, I am now, I'm pretty sure 3 drinks in, which I never do. And luckily my calendar invite notified me 10 minutes before we came on.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, we were laying on the couch. I was like, oh my God, I could be on a podcast right now. So I literally Keurigged myself coffee. I was stuffing a Nutri-Grain bar in my person. And I think I'm coming around. So we have... Yeah, so that's where
like
I'm at. So I think
now. You've been on the show before. You don't need to like show up with the fancy equipment. Just show up with a coffee and you're good to go. That's what Sam does.
Exactly. Wow. So I'm just asking for a minimal judgment zone.
Oh, we don't judge.
Okay. No, this is a judgment-free zone. Hey, John, I'm just curious. Why does Sarah get to drink on the podcast, but I don't ever get to drink?
What are you talking about? First of all, she's drinking.
I drink before, not during.
The drinks already happened.
This is coffee.
Listen, Sam, we all make our choices before the show, okay? Sarah chose to drink and you chose to run. These are the choices you made.
What did you do today, buddy?
Exactly.
I ran to the refrigerator before the show, and here I am. And so completes my day.
We got to celebrate because something very big happened today that people probably know about it because they're subscribed to you. But John launched season 10 of Front Page Tech.
Oh, yay, thank you.
Oh my God.
10 years of Front Page Tech. I think it's time to retire. Yeah, I think that's it.
Why are you not on my recommended?
I shouldn't be. When you said something big happened today, I was like trying to think if Apple announced anything or if I missed anything. What is happening?
That was just
B&H
sorry
ad.
about that, pal.
Wow, you don't pay for YouTube extra? No ads?
Does he look like he pays for YouTube? Does this look like a man who pays for YouTube?
This is a different account. It's a different account, everybody. Everybody, calm down. I was told 3.5 seconds ago this is a judgment-free zone. And then Sarah's like,
okay, true.
No,
I'm
only
sorry.
Poor? You're poor? I'm sorry. I was like, Jesus Christ. Just let me play this. I'm trying to help my John. Look at this intro.
Oh my God.
Look at this guy.
Why?
Can you put it? Look at that. Look at him.
Yay.
That's very good.
We don't need 4K me, Sam.
Look, it's the reason I don't get invited to Apple events. Yay!
Yeah. The
You were
reason
just
don't
at
get invited
Apple.
as a person.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam,
I applied. It was
Sam,
this is hot though.
is it though?
Yeah, that's so good.
All right. I've been looking
Look
at
at
this shit
that.
for like 5 months.
Oh,
I think Ian and I started
so
on this 5
good.
months ago, and I don't care anymore. I've seen it.
That's
Sarah,
so
does that ever
cool.
happen to you? Where you just been looking at the same project for so long that it's just meaningless?
It happens every day with my face. So whenever I go from filming my face to editing
That's
my face to thumbnailing my face, I'm just like, what is
That
up
took
with my
such a
face?
turn.
So, yes.
I retract my statement. I
feel
just don't
you.
even want to get into the murky waters. I just no. I
I
want to
feel
leave.
that.
No, I feel you.
though.
And I follow Ian on Twitter, and so we've been going back and forth because I just learned Blender, and he's a really cool dude. And I was shocked
A
to learn that.
genius.
Was it true? Was it true when he tweeted about he just graduated high school? Is he really that
Yes.
young?
I swooped him up young. I'm grooming him.
John,
Okay.
so smart.
And that is the end of this episode. We appreciate you guys being here.
Sara Dietschy,
And,
everyone.
Good guy. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna go to bed.
Bro, oh my God.
I like
Okay,
this. This is
so-
like the first time Sarah was on, we were like, okay, do we have to be angels? Do we have to be perfect? But now we're a fucking family. We're all just chilling on the couch, fucking around.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And I'm going to send you a picture, guys. So obviously, y'all are going to have to lead this podcast and lead me into things, but I'll send you a picture that you can maybe edit and post of like my terrible setup.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to have
okay,
that.
okay.
W-
I'm very
the audience
excited.
needs to know the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the middle.
Okay, so-
I like this.
No, I don't like. I'm looking. Now I have to look over here, bro.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Should
Okay,
we
there
put
we go.
Sarah
That's
in the
better.
middle then? I like
don't know.
Sarah.
I think I deserve to be in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. She's in
Yeah.
the middle. Also, I don't know
Yeah.
how many episodes have passed since you were last on the show, but it's still the same issues. We're not any more professional. Haven't learned a goddamn thing.
Hey, that's okay. Okay, and the reason why I feel like any other podcast I would literally cancel because I'm like, I cannot be seen in this state to the internet.
But you
But-
picked us.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I was
know
like,
how to
with
take that.
this is
Oh,
the
it's Genius
perfect,
Bar. It's fun.
environment. It's gonna be so fun. And
Sam.
also, I'm like, it would be so embarrassing. I invited me back on the podcast for everyone,
I
everyone to
wasn't gonna
know.
say that
I
out loud.
DM'd Sam. And I was like, hey, I want to go back on the podcast. WWDC just happened. So I'm like, to
Yeah.
cancel after inviting myself on a
Yeah,
podcast
you
would just
couldn't do
be
that.
awful.
Yeah,
No,
I would. We
so,
would definitely make
anyways.
fun of you. Like she invited herself, and then she no showed.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyways,
Well,
I'll let you guys take it.
there's been a week since WWDC. This is an Apple podcast. I think this is the first time we've said Apple in the first 15
This is an Apple
minutes of the
podcast.
show.
If you didn't know,
Yeah, it's great, dude. I saw a couple people got to go into the. Did you see the new WWDC podcast studio?
yes, Renee and Justine were in it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was beautiful. I want to find this now because it's I just searched Renee Justine and hey, it's the first thing that came up.
Hey.
So yeah, look at this studio, dude.
Okay.
Is this not
Yeah, it is.
nuts?
It looks crazy.
Like, how do you get in there? And I saw Renee
you are
walking.
not. No, just enjoy it from a distance. You're never getting in.
Bro, I'm a developer though. This is the developer center.
You're
Hey,
also
it's
my
very
friend.
exciting to see you there. That was very
Thank
exciting. Congrats.
Thank you, Sarah.
Do you know that
Sarah,
he had
means
to
a
like
lot.
smuggle himself in there with a lie?
Really? Oh
wasn't
my
in there
gosh.
as
Guys, remember
media.
we can't get me in trouble, okay?
Sarah, don't listen to this part. Sam, do you remember at
All right.
WWDC when you went in? She's covering her ears with AirPods in her ears. Sam, do you remember when you went into WWDC not as media and as Sam Kohl because they probably wouldn't let Sam Kohl in because he's friends with me and instead you went in as a developer because you made an app like 8 years ago?
No, I actually made the
Wow.
new app that I showed a couple of developers my app and I still got it on my phone. I actually made a bunch of friends at WWDC, non-media friends, because of course, I didn't want to be around the media. It was by choice. I I could have been on the mezzanine, as they call it. I could have gone hands-on with the MacBook
I don't
Pro.
believe
Hey,
you.
my whole thing is, why go hands-on with the MacBook Pro? We can go hands-off with the MacBook Pro. I mean,
Well, you did that
nobody else
successfully. You were hands off pretty
No.
good.
I should have done MacBook Pro hands-off, and it's just like me from a
Like,
distance filming
very
the Steve
far
Jobs
away from
Theater.
it.
Oh,
shit.
wait, Sarah, did you have the opportunity to go? Like, I felt like I would have seen you there.
You would have, but I literally was moving the day of WWDC.
But you
So,
had the invite.
am I allowed to say that?
What?
I don't wanna get-
It's over now.
Yeah. I did.
So you wouldn't have
But
seen her,
it was-
Sam. She would have been up with the media, exclusive club.
I know. She would have been looking. No, dude, it was literally so sad. Like, they had the media looking down on everybody.
Yeah,
else.
that
Like,
would
there
have
were
been
literally
Sarah.
people just over the banister, like, and I was like, "Hi
That's
guys."
funny.
I sometimes
Sarah
make
would
Yeah.
have looked down and been like,
Hey.
"Holy, is that Sam?" And just like pointing at
Is
you.
that one guy I was on his podcast that one time?
She's like, you guys see that guy? He's not media.
He'll never be.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
it was terrible timing. And they send out invites a little late. They keep you guessing. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where I was just like, I have 2 days to move, and either day it's going to be too hectic. So it came down. We sold our condo last minute, and so we're back to rental life. So that was a fun development in life that I didn't expect. So it was unexpected. Hopefully won't be missing any more events, but it was kind of a one-time thing. So
Gotcha.
Well, I think
Apple
they'll.
Park is crazy.
I think that Sam,
Mhm.
next time Sarah can't go, you just put on a wig, some Sara Dietschy glasses, and you go as her. It's your
perfect.
only
I'll
chance
send you
to get
the
in.
Warby Parker link. Okay.
Okay.
Is it a sponsorship?
Sweet.
You need to plug that?
Yeah. warbyparker.com/Sara Dietschy. And
Wow,
hey, if you
nice.
want to build a beautiful website with a beautiful squarespace.com/Sara Dietschy.
Well, okay. No, we said one. You
What
get
a
one.
coincidence. Wix
Okay.
is sponsoring this episode. I'm just kidding.
I take it back.
They are not. I wish
This
they were. For
episode
the
is
show, though.
sponsored by Our Dignity, which will hopefully be on sale again to get back.
Good.
Because okay, let's move on. That was a bad joke. So Apple had an event
I'm not
last
even gonna
week.
cut it. It's not even.
I'm turning red because I'm embarrassed.
Oh my god, you should be.
Dude, look, it's me dancing because I got to go to Apple Park.
Sam, you can't deflect from the terrible joke. You just can't.
No, please don't show
Just
my face
acknowledge
right
what
now.
you
Just
did
only
and let's
show
move
this.
on. That's fine.
Okay.
So my question is, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sam, are
Yes.
you going to get denied entry for future events because then you posted on Twitter that you were there?
No, I don't. I think you were allowed to.
I don't think he considered
Now I'm
that.
scared. No, like they said you could take. They just said you couldn't have a professional camera. Also, my tweets got more engagement than anybody else on the entirety of Twitter for Dub. So, like, if they don't appreciate that, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But no, it was awesome. It was great. You know, I just hope I get the opportunity to go back. I'm very grateful. Like my mom was like, "That's like the most excited I've ever seen you is in that vlog," and I was like, "Wow, that's kind of depressing."
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Oh, good looking out.
But no, it was amazing. Like it was amazing, and I'd love the opportunity to go back. And yeah, what can I say? I love Apple Park. I love Apple. I'm a simp.
Even if it's not his media.
I mean, listen, I'll take any. I'm not going to say no to any opportunity to be at Apple's campus, right? Like, would I love that? Would that complete my life? Sure. But I also understand that they just might not be ready for this level of energy and hype to be on their campus.
I feel like this is
a lot.
like this was a topic when Sarah was on the show last time, and you're
was.
still hung up on it. Like this is how many episodes later, and we're still like, Sam's still a bit salty.
No, I'm not salty. I'm sugary and sweet because I was at Apple Park.
All right, Sarah, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
Best part of WWDC. Hit us.
Okay, I'm going to go with the message features because I am someone who is terrible with texting back with
Oh,
emailing
same.
back. Well, now I have someone helping with my email, so email's fine. But with messages, and specifically with the pin feature from last year, I have found that I'll pin someone to say, hey, message them back. But the fact that they're not in my actual message feeds means I never message them back. So literally, the poor people who get pinned, I just never see them ever again. And so the features where you can now, swipe to say it's unread, or you can unsend messages. I was a big fan of all those message features. I think it's what we've been waiting for. And so even though that's probably not the most sexy features, I think for me, it was the best practical features.
Huh. I unsent a message the other day, and it was, I think that's my favorite. Yeah, I'd say for iMessage.
Yeah.
I accidentally,
I like the lock screen.
We were going over stuff for season 10, and I was like, hey, Ian, because we have multiple angles of the background that we use. And I was like, Ian, I want this. We need to flush out this background. We need to do more here with this angle. And I sent him the wrong one. So like, I almost sent him on this path of doing like the completely wrong thing. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just send the right one. But then there's like too many and it's confusing. And I just unsent it, and it was beautiful. It just disappeared. It's like magic.
So wait, you're bold. You install the beta on your main device?
Oh yeah, I'm living in a state of massive regret.
Oh my God. Okay. No. It's not that bad. I've been doing the same thing.
Okay, you say it's not that bad until it's bad.
Yeah, but also even if it's fucking terrible, Sam will just lie through his teeth for Apple.
Yeah.
Dude, this is
it's
so
okay,
good.
Sam.
Because this is what happens. I go to one Apple event, and everybody's like, dude, you're an Apple shill now. I'm like, I wasn't even there as media.
Everyone said that before you went to the event.
Dude, but the thing is, I feel like, and this is my ego speaking, and I want you guys to comment this, but I feel like I am one of the most fair people to Apple on the planet. No, for real.
I'm just laughing at John laughing. Hey, Sam, I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to drop some wisdom, okay? I'm probably not going to make sense, but I will. The people, okay, listen, people are allowed to get excited about things, okay? This is my biggest pet peeve, that people equate negativity. I can't talk. That people equate negativity with with truth, So regardless of what you think, of course, I'm sure there's examples of being shills for a company or the opposite. If you are one thing all the time, that's just not, it's not, I feel like that's what's not truthful. If you're negative all the time, I feel like that's impossible. To not like one thing about a company, are you kidding me? And vice versa. So it's okay to be excited about things. I applaud that. It doesn't mean that your opinion isn't valid,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Exactly. No, I agree with that, Sarah. I think that's a really good perspective to look at it. Cause that's how I feel. Like, yeah, I get excited about their stuff, but also like when iPadOS 16 comes out and there's like 7 different ways to view an app, I'm like, hey guys, maybe we should work on this.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to be honest. The stage thing for macOS, I'm excited about it on the iPad, but I feel like it's going to be a nightmare for macOS. I don't know. It makes no sense for me. It's like you have a second dock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It makes a lot of sense on the iPad if it worked, and it was like the right thing. But on a Mac, it's just like, okay, but for why? Just because M1, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stage Manager, everybody. That's my favorite feature because I love Apple.
Yeah, I installed the beta on my device, and it's not. I just regret.
Okay, what? Explain. No. Materialize what you're saying, because it's a popular take to be like, I installed iOS Beta 1, it's so bad. It's like, what's bad? Is the battery life slightly worse?
No, Sam.
No,
it's not slightly worse.
It's literally, yeah. Okay, this is the one thing I will push back on, is like betas of anything. I mean, have you ever installed a Premiere beta on your machine before, or even like a Premiere actual build? I know Apple is better than Adobe, but it's one of those things that's like, software engineers, I feel like, just need time to work out the kinks, and it's not a problem until it is. When you have like a message or an email or a video you have to edit, like something that you need right at the moment, it's at those crucial moments that everything crashes, nothing works.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that comes from.
Unless
because
you're Adobe,
like I've had those experiences.
Adobe's job is just to make the kinks. That's all they do. They're not ever fixing them. They're just making new ones. I don't know if you know, but like since you were last on the show, I'm full Final Cut now. I was Premiere and After Effects, and I moved to Final Cut. I just couldn't handle
don't
shit.
say that though, because I'm like, I know we talked about that, but like literally, you know, I was like all-time biggest Adobe fan. I was like an Adobe creative resident. So I'm like, I feel like I still toe the line, but yeah, I feel like I vouched for them so long and gave them so many chances, but it got to the point where I literally couldn't do my job. Like I was sending in videos late. I was missing deadlines because of Premiere crashing. And yeah, so I'm glad you did that, because at the end of the day, John, you got to do your job. I got to do my job. DaVinci Resolve has only crashed once on me in a year and a half.
Oh wow!
In a year and a half.
It feels like a completely different life.
I don't even think about it. And that's the thing. Sometimes I have to like stop and like actually be like, wow, because when things just work, you don't even think about it. Right. Yeah. When I was, you know, in my previous life, it was constant. I was like, oh no, is this plugin going to crash this? Is this going to, you know, so yeah. I mean, what was the biggest learning curve with Final Cut for you? Because I hate
the magnetic timeline.
Go ahead.
I was like,
exactly.
What? Shut the fuck up, Sam. I didn't even explain myself yet.
No, I'm saying what to say.
I said, I thought you were talking to me. She asked me a question, I answered it, and you went, what? Immediately. I was like, what the hell?
You guys are both like need to see a psychologist clearly, but continue.
I do, actually.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
BetterHelp.com/I
Continue.
Okay. What happened was, so I like this. I don't know where I heard this quote or if I just made it up.
Wrong. Literally wrong. How could you say that?
Exactly. Frustration creates change is like one of my favorite life lessons. And it's like, I would have never considered Final Cut. Like people on an iPhone or an Android, they'll rarely swap platforms because of a commercial they saw or like a feature they saw. It's like, I want that feature. And then they swap. They swap because they're frustrated with their current experience. And that's what happened with Premiere. It was to the point, like just goofy stuff. It would render out episodes of Front Page Tech where just some of the frames were green, like the entire frame would just completely glitch. Do you remember that, Sam?
No,
you don't remember that? Just like frames from the episodes.
The green glitches. That's a thing.
I would re-render the episodes until I got a clean edit, and then I'd upload it. But there was one night where I edited for maybe 3 hours and I exported for 8. Because I was exporting, trying to get a clean export, and none of them were clean. So what I had to do was take multiple exports and only keep the clean parts and then re-export again. And it was that night where I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done with this. Yeah. And I immediately switched to Final Cut. And haven't looked back since. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done the thing where I've had to only export audio and then only export some of the videos and then only export, you know, the section where the VFX is actually heavy or there's a crazy time lapse, and then restitch things together and then export it like that. So yeah, it gets to a point. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The program not doing the only job that it has, literally, that's what it says it does, and then it doesn't do it.
I know.
Apple Pay, Sam.
I know.
What?
Do you remember?
I like Apple Pay.
So there was just a couple. Sam, before you go, what?
You're just saying things.
I'm gonna remind you.
You're just saying things. You're literally just like, Final Cut is great, but Apple
Pay.
I'm
gonna let him talk because he's gonna remember.
Who's talking about Apple Pay? Literally, who's talking about Apple Pay right now?
I said, speaking of things that's claim to do a certain thing but then don't do it. Apple Pay. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when you were trying to Apple Pay me? We'd exchange
money. That was my
money.
bank. We figured it out.
No, Sam, how did we figure it out? We couldn't send one payment. So over multiple days, you sent like $200 at a time because Apple Pay wouldn't let you send an actual decent-sized payment.
But it was my card. I called my bank and they
I've had the same issue.
I literally called my bank and they said
lying! Wow. Self-responsibility.
Mom and Dad are fighting again.
This is why no one respects us.
I know. You guys literally sound like a married couple who's been married for like 30
at
years.
It's only been a year and a half. What are we gonna do, Sam?
Man. Dude, imagine this podcast in 30 years.
No, I don't want to.
JK, that's right now.
Sarah, are you ever going to retire? Like, okay, I have this crisis in my head that I think about very, very often where I don't want to overstay my welcome because I've seen so many of my favorite creators basically nerf their own career. Yeah, because they become out of touch with what the audience wants. And that's my biggest fear. It's not retiring or whatever. It's like overstaying my welcome and being completely out of touch with the audience.
Man, I think about this all the time. I think I touched on it last podcast where I feel like my crisis is a little bit, it has to do with like the next phase of my life and like motherhood. I'm like, can I do what I'm doing and still be a mom? Right.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like is a little bit more complex, but at the same time, you know, beside that, I was thinking about that just today. And I was like, you know, this past year, I just like you, kind of similar to you, John, I celebrated 10 years on YouTube. And even though for only...
It's almost time to leave.
Thank you. I know, right? I will say, though, only 5 or 6 of those years has it actually been my job, though. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, 2026 will be 10 years as like a full-time job. And, you know, I'm like, by then, I feel like I should kind of maybe make more videos for fun, you know, maybe only have a couple brand deals a year to where I can just do my own thing. I mean, I was just thinking about today, I'm working with like a very, you know, let's just call them a Fortune 500 company. I don't want to specify too much for branded content. And no, unfortunately not anymore. I love them though. I love their entire team. I know so many amazing people on that team, so I can never just completely give up on them because there's truly some amazing humans there. But that's besides the point. So I was having this call and we're doing a thing where I'm just a host, which I love because it's less responsibility. And seeing the type of content they already have on their YouTube channel, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be a part of like this. Because on the call, I was like, hey, are we making something that's going to have paid media behind it where, you know, you're going to have guaranteed views? It's an ad, it's a pre-roll on YouTube, or are you counting on just organic views? And they said the thing I was kind of scared of, and they said organic. So they're paying all of this money for something that will probably get 500 views. And it's because they're completely doing all the creative. I'm just the host. And so I was like, okay. And because of that, I was like, guys, we need to hop on many more phone calls. Let me know the subjects you're going to cover because I really need to help with making them YouTube videos, not ads. Because if you want organic views, we got to like make it an actual YouTube video, right? So I don't know. I think about like retiring as a YouTuber, but I think there's a way that I can get my fix in like helping these companies who hire out the most expensive agencies ever, but they still are so clueless. I mean, they don't know how to do anything. And sometimes as a YouTuber, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing because there's the Mr. Beasts of the world who are crushing it. But then I have phone calls with these companies and these agencies, and I'm like, I know much more than these guys. I could do this.
They're like,
you know?
We want organic views. It's just like, do you even know what that means?
They're like, yeah, it's got the special label on it at the Walmart.
And I mean, man. you should, So it's one of those things where I freak out about it a lot, but I'm like, you know what, whatever phase 2 of my life is, I think we're all going to be fine. Cause I think YouTubers don't realize actually how many skills they have in their toolbox, and we'll all be fine. But you're right, John, you kind of got to know when to not stop trying because it can always come back. I've seen people resurrect their channels, 5 times over. But I think mental health wise, there has to be a point where maybe you do take a step back and you reassess.
Well, like, I just celebrated my 10th year on YouTube, but I feel like, and I'm proud of what I make, but then I watch like Sam, and Sam just put out, I think, maybe his best video he's ever made. Your iPad video? Yeah. I think that might be the best video he's ever made. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a 10 out of 10. Like, so he's my bud. And I watch every one of his videos, but this is one of those ones where I watched it and immediately was like, okay, I have to go out of my way to let him know that this is good shit, more shit like this.
Aw,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
10
That's
out of 10,
awesome.
Sam.
Appreciate you.
And I think
Thank you.
I think it's important to have those videos, because I mean, the recent video I just made, views wise, it's not doing as good, but it was something that I did for myself. And I have this old saying where I'll say one for me, one for them. But that was 6 years ago.
Uh-huh.
6 years ago, you could make one video for yourself and one video for your audience and still get views. Nowadays, you can't do that. Nowadays, 95% of the videos have to be for the audience. They have to be priority, thumbnail, title. You can't make any
Yeah.
video without a thumbnail and title in
Yeah.
mind. So that advice I used to give is no longer a thing. But now that I feel like I made one video for me in the span of a couple years, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading the comments and I'm like, you inspired me to try out this program again. Oh my God, this is so amazing. I did something that was creative fulfilling for me that had nothing to do with my usual content, but it's not doing as well number wise, but the fuel that I got from the Blender video I made, it's that most recent one. The fuel I got from that Blender video is literally enough to carry me for, I swear, like 6 months of just, random
so
videos.
Good. That's so great.
And so I think it's
cool.
like you have to find a balance, right? And I should shut up now, but that's kind of like the same thing. You got to make some stuff that you're proud of every now and then, right? And this was me learning like a new program in only like 24 hours, which I didn't know. And now you're on the sponsor bit. Whoop. But this program is hard,
Let's skip
right?
over that.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
That's so. Oh shit! That's actually you. What? No previous experience.
I no previous experience. I remade Peter McKinnon's desk setup, and that's why
That's
Ian,
so cool.
your guy John, is such a fun follow on Twitter because he's so well versed in 3D and Blender and stuff.
Oh my God!
And so,
have you seen the original draft of the background
of the set?
Oh, it's not good. So he had only been really making phones and stuff, but I was like, I bet he could do this if I presented him with the project. And so briefly went over like what I wanted and what my like ideas were to start. And this was the first draft. It is like this terribly put together purple room.
It's not that bad though.
I mean, it's
not bad. It's not bad.
Not a YouTube set, but at first we both saw that and we were like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But I was just I didn't there was no panic because I had seen him put so many projects together before where it was just like somehow he learned overnight and like pulled it out of his ass, and I think that set and the detail in it is probably his best work, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you guys say, excuse me, would you guys say that learning makes you tired?
I would say it makes me tired. Yes, Sam.
I would say that I saw that in the title of Sara Dietschy's last video.
Did you?
Hey, John, you know what? I get tired sometimes.
I'm
you know
sorry,
why?
Sarah.
Because I'm tired of the damn heat.
Is that why you would recommend Chili Sleep?
I'm tired of the damn heat, John. That's why I'd recommend Chili Sleep, who sponsored this episode of the Genius Bar.
Chili Sleep.
Yes.
My favorite part of the podcast.
Yes.
Sarah,
guys,
you asked to come back, okay?
Yep.
This is what you wanted.
Chili Sleep. May I continue?
Continue,
This
Sam.
is like babysitting. Chili Sleep makes customizable climate-controlled sleep solutions to help you improve your entire well-being so that you're not tired. Chili Sleep makes the Uller. No, I didn't know you were going to Norwegian today. Ula.
Ula.
Chili Sleep makes the Ula and Cube sleep systems, hydropower, temperature-controlled mattress toppers that fit over your existing mattress to provide your ideal sleep temperature.
Okay, I'm sorry for the offensive version of Sam, but I legit sleep with Chili Sleep every single night. It's a little pad on the mattress. I get to choose the whole sleep schedule. It'll heat up throughout the night so I don't wake up super cold, because I like going to sleep super cold with sheets that feel like they've never been laid on before, but I just laid on them. But I don't like waking up in the middle of the night also super cold in my bones. So the bed slowly heats up, so I'm nice and cozy throughout the night. Since I got Chili Sleep, and this is not just because they paid, I have slept with it every single night.
That's true. He does text me randomly. He'll be like, I like Chili Sleep too much.
I'll text Sam. Have I told you about Chili Sleep.com/genius?
Sometimes he just goes, guys, I'm a little too chilly, because I headed over to chillisleep.com/genius to learn more and check out their special offer available exclusively for you guys and only for a limited time. That's chili, CHILI, sleep.com/genius to take advantage of our exclusive discount and wake up refreshed every day.
And Sarah can get 20% off any new system.
Yes, just for Sarah. Only for Sarah. Nobody else use it. Just kidding. Everyone uses it.
I think it's in the contract of me being in this podcast that I actually get it for free.
Yeah, I think so. That's why she has to come on this time.
So many contracts. We'll have to look at those.
Thank you, Chili Sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chili Sleep. Okay, that's all
Yay.
you get. All right. Sam.
Okay.
They have so many products.
Sam, I'm tired. You do the rest.
They have a lot. Okay, it's not the idiot bar. Sit your ass up.
No.
We've got a show to do, mister.
No, go ahead, Sam.
Okay.
I'm just producer
guys,
John now.
So oh, thank God. So here we go. We're going to actually have some productive conversation. Sarah.
Yeah. I feel like it's been super productive so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Sarah, are you buying the new MacBook Air? Is this a computer that appeals to you and your lifestyle as the #1 Final Cut fan?
Not, right? I think I'll buy it to review it. But in terms of using it, I am curious if the battery life is even better than the M1 MacBook Air. It might make me carry that around with a dongle and give up my 14-inch. Because I will say the biggest reason why the 14-inch M1 Pro is my main machine is, one, freaking ports. I actually use the HDMI all the time at my office. I plug into my teleprompter for my notes. That's extremely handy. I use the SD card all the time. So I'm one of those people that isn't just screaming about ports, but I actually use it. But I will say the one thing that I miss dearly about the M1 is the battery life. Like, my M1 Pro battery life isn't that great, especially with the 14-inch SKU. So I'm mostly curious about the battery life on it, just because the M1 was so good. I'm like, hey, does it hold up? So we'll see. I'm kind of good with it's not good from a reviewer standpoint to be satisfied with your setup. But I got like a monster Puget PC with a 32 core AMD Threadripper, and then I'm using the 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook right now with ports. I'm good, right? So I think the only thing I'm trying to figure out right now is my display setup. That's actually something I was talking to Ian about, because I saw him use a Mac Studio display with his PC. So that's what I'm doing right now.
People are giving him so much shit for that today.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look how messy my desk is, guys.
What happened?
But I'm using.
God. That's what my.
I moved.
Oh yeah, you did move. Oh wow.
Sorry, judgment free zone.
Moved. Judgment free zone. Sorry,
everybody.
I take it back.
But yeah, so I think that's what I'm most
fair.
excited about, is just displays. But yeah, I'll do it to review it, because I know a lot of people are. It's the age of the Mac. I mean, the Mac is having a moment.
We'll send it to you because you're not Sam.
I bet they will.
I will say I'm not as friendly with the Mac team. So they send me briefings and stuff, but I think spending 4 years shitting on their butterfly keyboard MacBook, I think that kind of made them not want to, send me reviews, which I totally respect. But they've actually been super cool, and they still invite me to the briefings and stuff. They just don't send me a review in it, which I'm totally cool with, and I understand.
Yeah, well, I
understand.
If it helps,
you know what, Sarah? I'm not cool with it. They should send you everything. Is your name Sara Dietschy? For goodness sakes.
Yeah, I'm grateful for iPhones and iPads. Maybe I'll work up to the Mac side of things. But yeah, I kind of get it, because I think I was a little harsh for a while.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to work up to the dongle. Like, I'm waiting until they send me my my Lightning to USB-C dongle to review.
Totally.
And I'll hang that one on my wall. I'm like, I ain't sending this back. I'm not sending this $9 dongle, Apple. I'm keeping it. This is my service fee. Okay. No return shipping at this UPS, buddy.
Look at that pretty sunset behind Sam.
I know. I
Let
just
me open my
noticed
window.
that.
Let me open
Go
my
open
window.
it.
This is what I pay
For audio listeners, this is meaningless to you, but there's a very pretty sunset. Hey, go to youtube.com/geniusbar. There's a very pretty sunset behind Sam. Wow.
Look at that.
That looks like a wallpaper.
Where is he located right now?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh yeah. We need to talk about. Are you seriously thinking about moving to Texas, where I am?
Okay. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be moving. I think within the next. So my lease. I don't want to get too specific, but I'm gonna be in St. Louis for roughly another year. All right.
Okay.
As far as like my lease goes, and
did you sign a year lease?
I signed a year lease a few months ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were alluding to the fact that you signed a 2-year lease. I was like, is that a thing?
No.
Okay.
I think a lot of places do 18 months. I've seen, which is kind of annoying.
What?
I don't know. Lease
Sorry to derail.
No, you're good. So I don't know. I've been born and raised in St. Louis. It's a fine place, but I feel like, you've just been in the same spot your whole life. You're looking for something different. So I've been traveling a lot this year. Like I've traveled more in the past 6 months than I have in my entire life. Like that's not an exaggeration. This year alone, I've been to Chicago, DC, Austin, Cupertino, and I think there's been somewhere else too. I'm going to like Kansas City next month. I'm going to someplace in Missouri like this weekend. It's been crazy, but it's also been fun and rewarding as well because I feel like I'm growing as a person. I don't know. I feel kind of inspired, but I feel like I've got my top 2 narrowed down. So I think it's going to be LA or probably Austin.
Nice. How old are you, Sam?
Austin, I'm 24.
Okay. And have you ever lived outside of where you are now?
I did 4 years in Peoria, Illinois, where I went to school.
Okay.
It's middle of nowhere, Illinois, for context.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Okay, so give me the pros and cons. Because I think in my head, I have an opinion, but I want to hear more from you first. And then maybe, John, you should give your opinion.
Yeah. Look at that. The most educated, fair way to do this.
Yeah.
She didn't just shout her opinion right away.
Well, Texas is a little bit closer. Texas is, Austin. I wouldn't just move to like, bum nowhere, Texas. I'd probably be moving to Austin because that's where like a lot of young people, I guess, are. And I don't know. I like the vibe of the city. It was cool. They have Zilker Park, which is super sick. I love just like living near parks. I don't know why. So like as far as money goes, yes, the rent in Austin is expensive, but I did the math and basically what I would save not having to pay a state income tax in Texas would like even out with the whole rent being expensive. And I'd probably want to buy a condo if I'm being honest, just because I'm kind of tired. So I also wanted to ask you this.
I have. Hold on.
Renting.
Okay.
Renting
I have some condo advice, but that's separate. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Because I wanted to talk to you about that. So that's I feel like the pros of Austin, right? Is that it's like decent weather, although it gets hot. It's a little bit closer to home. Like I could technically do the drive in one day from there to St. Louis if I wanted to. The flight is like 2 hours. It's nothing, or maybe an hour and a half. Cons wise, it does get extremely hot during the summer. I liked it, but I wasn't like in love when I was there. And I also like don't really know anybody in Austin in particular. Like I feel like Sara Dietschy would be my closest work friend, if we could even call ourselves that. Okay, for California. Okay. I just wanted to confirm. I never like to put that label. So anyway, LA, right? I like it a lot. Every time I've been to California, which has only been 2 times, I like get off the plane, I haul out the car, and it just feels like home. Like I don't know how to describe it. Otherwise, I'm just like I feel comfortable here. It's obviously pricey, but the weather is perfect basically every day. There is the imminent threat of like there being an earthquake or some other natural disaster. But
okay, I feel like I already have the answer.
Okay.
What you should do.
Bumping, and I love the like vibe of California.
Did you say it's bumping?
It's bumping there. But it's also bumping in Austin, dude. Austin's crazy. Okay, those are my and the guys cons of California. Very, very far. I really don't know that many more people out there, and it's a longer flight, it's a longer distance, but also I'm young, so it could be fun. I don't know, but also Apple's there. So when I start getting invited to Apple events, I'll just freaking drive, bro. I'll pull up in the Guinea. What's up, Tim?
The Guinea.
Okay.
Okay. So
that was a long pause.
I feel like last time we talked about you breaking up with a girlfriend. Do you still have a girlfriend? Are you tied down at all? Or what is the status on that? Not tied down.
Yeah, no, I'm a single man right now.
Okay.
You know where to find me on Instagram. This is just a call to action. This podcast is sponsored by...
For the 2 girls who watch your podcast.
Yeah. And one of them's on the podcast right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a devoted relationship. Like
that leaves only one. There's one out there right now. I can feel it.
Okay.
So
anyway,
what I will say, my gut instinct is to do LA. Says the person who is living in Texas. But
I was gonna say.
I know. But I mean, I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so it's a little bit different from Austin. And I grew up in this area, so I grew up already kind of. Austin was never my flow. I know a lot of people are moving out there, but Austin to me it was always the quirky, weird place, which I totally understood the allure for certain types of people. But now it's like the quirky, weird place that almost has LA prices, which I don't understand that. Yeah. And the only thing that stood out to me is the fact that you don't know anyone there. Texas, okay, for me, Texas is a great place when you're like in the phase of your life. Maybe you're not settling down, because I never want to settle down, but it's like you're thinking about, maybe starting a family, or you want to be closer to family. Maybe your family is here, or maybe maybe your career is more established and you have that, high paying job that you want to save taxes with, and you want a building, or you want more office space, or you want, you're maybe in the later years of expansion. But for you, I feel like you're young, you don't have, really any commitments. And with that commitment, I would say, do not buy real estate yet. Don't buy a condo, because I think it will bring you down. You want to be flexible. You want to be able to do whatever you want. If you need to go out of town for 3 weeks, you don't want to have to worry about responsibilities and people think that rent is people think that rent is the opposite. Like, and I had this in my brain, like, oh, I need to buy something because when I travel for 2 weeks, I'm not just wasting my rent. I'm like contributing to an investment. And what I will say, for the past year and a half of doing the condo, it is as much potential work, if not more, than an actual house. It is not the easy way. You get stuck with a lot of bills. You get stuck with HOA increases that you have no control over. And it is a ton of responsibility. If you are someone who wants to prioritize your career and videos and being creative, you do not need more responsibility. And I think what LA for you, I think you're in the phase of your life or career where you should not be worrying about saving on taxes right now. I think that will come later. Maybe that comes in 3 or 4 years. But I think, I'm not saying you don't make money. I know you make money, but I'm just saying, I think the benefit you can get from being around more YouTubers and more like-minded individuals and being closer to maybe events, I think is going to benefit you more in the time of your life. And maybe later 20s, you can focus on maybe moving back home or moving to somewhere like a Texas or something. Anyways.
I'm going to have to pay like $150,000 in taxes this year.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to throw
okay.
up.
I don't
She said taxes and my stomach went,
I don't. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm in Texas and I don't think you want to know what I'm paying in taxes in Texas, but yeah.
I was going to say sort of the same thing, Sam. Like, well, wherever you want to end up, I think is cool. But the whole condo thing, that's like buying a pair of jeans that you have to wear like for years without trying them on. Because like, what if you buy a condo, but then you fucking hate the place that you picked to live, or the state's not working out for you, and you can't just be like, I'm gonna get up and go again, because you can't unless you sell it, I guess.
And I will say, in your 20s, the thing that you should have is flexibility. And we sold the condo, but I completely regretted it, like every step of the way. Like within signing, the next week was the biggest winter storm that had ever hit Texas. and the building flooded. And all of a sudden I was responsible for a piece of that problem. And you just, if it was rent, you would just say, oh, I'm not staying here. And you would move on. And so I think there's a time and place, but especially for creative individuals who, I mean, I think our time and brain space, I think our brain space is the most special thing. And if your brain is consumed by this or that, like I'm someone who fixates on problems. And this whole past year, I was just fixated by condo and HOA problems. And that's not a good thing to have for someone who's trying to be creative.
Yeah, that's such an old person problem.
Yeah, no,
yes.
That's not,
it's like
well,
when
and
your
that's
biggest
the thing. I
worries
was
are
surrounded by 70-year-olds.
Yeah, it's like my condo and when does the morning paper get dropped off at the porch?
Yeah.
But,
so I would say definitely wherever you end up, don't do that. No, I'm legitimately serious. Like wait a little bit. If you want to do that when you're 29, 30, go for it.
Okay.
But
Sam, I just feel like I'm throwing my money away with rent.
No, okay. All right, here we go. Okay.
Oh, look what you did.
Guys, full screaming.
Look what you did.
Full she said full screaming.
Okay.
Producer John's on it. There you go.
This is the falsehood of real estate is throwing your money away. Okay. And I completely believed that 2 years ago. And that's why we rushed into a condo at historically low interest rates. And Sam, let me tell you something. The Fed right now is hiking up the interest rates, every other month. So what you're going to get in terms of a mortgage is going to be terrible for the next year. So I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, whether you're doing a condo or a house. I would just wait in general. But that whole statement of throwing your money away, it's the boomers who keep telling us that because it was true for them. It was true for them. Okay. Yeah. They could go and buy their dream mansion for $200,000 25 years ago. That is not the case for us. And we do not get ideally, okay, yeah, maybe real estate will keep going up like it always has, but that still isn't guaranteed. And also what I've learned with the condo, because you guys saw it, we just moved. We're now in a townhouse that we're renting. And I have such relief because I was in a condo that we bought and it felt like more of a trap than a year lease. A year lease, no matter where you are, you can leave in a year. If you bought something and there's no buyers, you're screwed. People always say, you can always sell.
No, you can't.
You should look at the market right now. It's softening, and especially for condos, single family homes in Texas, I think will be fine for a while. And single family homes in California, whatever, you're going to be fine. But anything outside of that, that's something that softens, and then you might be stuck somewhere. Renting is a year at a time. You're not stuck. You can do whatever the heck you want.
It's true. Even a year though, I hate the idea of a lease. I feel like there's so much.
Same. And maybe you have to experience it, because that's what I had to do. Because I was right there with you 2 years ago. And then I experienced a little bit of it. And now I'm like, holy crap, a year lease is actually freedom. It's freedom. You can buy out of the lease. You can leave, and get this. The other day, our garage wasn't working. And I literally put in a request in the system, and there was like an electrician here like an hour later. If I was at the condo, you have to do everything yourself, and you just have to pay for everything and find the experts. And I don't know. I think it's time and place. If you're handy, go for it.
I'm on a year lease with Sam.
Remind me where you are, John.
I'm on a year lease with Sam. Our contract gets renewed every year. I'm leasing Sam. I didn't even buy Sam.
No, what I'm trying to do, I'll just say it because we've been working on it and there's no harm in it, but I'm trying because here's something I didn't mention. You were talking a lot about brain space and what you do, and something that I don't think I would be ready to do is move to either Austin or LA with no one else with me. Sam Kohl picks up his ass and moves to LA or Austin alone. And I don't, some people might say, oh, what do you mean? Is it the money or a social? It's really just knowing that I'd have to make all new friends on top of continuing my workout regimen, continuing my work, normal regimen, on top
Well, I feel
of
like that's why,
then-
yeah, that was the biggest alarm
then-
yeah. That was the biggest
So-
alarm with Texas is you were like, I literally know no one. And so I think that's why LA would be much better because you at least have the starting point of knowing at least a few people. I mean, that's huge for momentum, you know?
So I'm basically trying to convince
Here we
John
go.
Prosser and Luke Miani, and this is going to be an open invite to other similarly sized channels to create a tech hype house.
Team 3.
Oh God.
Team 10.
But not an actual tech hype house. Like we each live in our own places, but we have like a studio that we share.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I feel like
that's
there's
cool.
so much. There's so much. I don't know, Sarah. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like, and I noticed this when I was at the Creator Clash, which was like this YouTube boxing event, and like I was around people like Moist Critical and just a million other people that were like giant people that are like cultural icons in the internet space. And I'm not saying that to flex. I'm saying that to be like, you see the scale of the operations that they've built, and it's actually stunning and super crazy to see. And I feel like Mark has, and I guess Unbox Therapy have done that in the tech space, but there's a lot of people, Linus, a great example as well. But I feel like there's so many, I feel like people in the tech space are a lot more conservative as far as like big career jumps than other people. And I just feel like there's so much opportunity in the tech space that a lot of people haven't capitalized on.
I mean, maybe career jumps in terms of like different fields, but I think the tech space, like with Linus and Marquez, I think they're actually the best example of building out actual teams and like HR and like running actual operations. Because even H3H3, who's probably like the biggest of that LA scene, I think has like maybe 4 employees who do the podcast. But in terms of like boxing or jumping, like I think tech is really good at building from within, like building around you. But in terms of collaborating or building something with other people, I mean, I think that's why I was like, oh, I want to be on this podcast again. Because we just don't, I feel like the tech space doesn't talk to each other as much, and I
guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I was at this party
I think,
and
yes.
And like, sorry, I cut you off, but like every streamer on Twitch knew each other, from people that had like 10,000 followers to like 3 to 4 million. They were all like friends. They had each other on each other's streams. I just feel like the tech community is very isolationist. And like you said,
to be honest, I feel like it just became more extreme with COVID because all of a sudden, and I know with me, okay, I think a microcosm of this is probably like a smaller example that represents maybe the bigger community is when I first moved to New York, we had a really cool thing going. It was like me, Eric Conover, Sam Sheffer, Brett Conti. There was a lot of cool New York people. But what happens is, people get girlfriends or boyfriends and your channel takes off and all of a sudden you're not vlogging, but you're doing real estate or you're doing tech, and everyone kind of gets in their flow and you get sponsors and you get busy and you barely have time to breathe. Right. And so I think it kind of just naturally happens where you get so busy. It's like, dang, I don't have time to even, like watch a Netflix show. I'm so exhausted. I'm not going to hang out with someone else. So I think there's a little bit of that. We get in our own flows. We start hiring our own people. We have a never ending to-do checklist, right? But then also, with COVID, we learned that we can do a lot of the stuff that we need by never going to an event ever again. I mean, I want to start going to events again because I want to see people, but to be honest, it's easy to like stay at home and like do the same exact thing I was doing before without even lifting, without even getting on a plane anymore. Yeah. So I think it's a combination of that. But
I used to think that was like,
could be more talking.
When Front Page Tech was like early stages, I thought that meant you made it. If I could just go to an event and cover the news at the event, that'd be the greatest thing. And now, especially, I mean, not so much with COVID, but right before COVID, I was being invited to CES and stuff a lot, and it's just like, why? I can make my show at a much better quality in my studio, covering the same shit, and I don't have to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, I mean,
Sam is not that way. Sam is a social butterfly.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, I feel that, right? But I don't know. After being at that Apple event in the sea of people, like, I've never been hungrier in my life. Like I had a conversation with my parents last night. We were at a dinner for just like an hour. I was just like talking nonstop about like everything that I want to work on and like how hungry I am.
I mean, you did come back and make your best video, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen what I want. And like, I know we joke about it a lot, but like, I do want to be at Apple events. I do just love it. And like, you know, I joke about it all the time too, but it's like, that is something that is deeply personal to me and that I care about a lot. And like,
well, it's awesome. I mean, you grow up. Yeah. I mean, I remember going to my first Apple event and I was like, how am I here? There's a version of, there's a part in your head that's like, I don't deserve to be here, because you grow up not just watching the events, but like, oh, this is like Steve Jobs' Apple, right? I mean, Apple is such the center of why I think a lot of tech creators start making videos about tech, is because at the center of it, you love these devices. Like they made you, or not made you, they gave you the opportunity to do what you're doing now because you love it and you want to talk about it, you want to review it and you want to show it off and you want to make cool montages of it. And so when you're there, you're like, how am I even here? This makes no sense. And the fact that just, you know, someone from this company emailed me and now I'm here is insane. And I totally understand that.
I saw that with Sam too. Like I knew he was going to the event, but then, you know, he sends me a picture of like Tim Cook, like, I don't know, 300 feet away. And I'm like, holy shit, my boy is right next to Tim Cook. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But there, you know, there's just, I don't know. I basically just feel like I don't know. I just like love Apple stuff. And I want to do like, it's the in-person that gets me. Like, I guess I've just sort of had that perspective of like, there is something magical about being in person. Like it's the idea, right, of going to a concert. When your favorite artist that you've been listening to for 5 years, when they walk out on stage in the flesh and you see them not on the screen, but like with your own eyes in front of you. I mean, I know not everybody's a concert person, but like that's just something that it's magical. And like, that's what I felt at the Apple event. When Tim and Craig went up on stage before the keynote and did like a little welcome to everybody in person, I was like, that is magical to see them right there. Yeah. And I guess also just like traveling and being out so much this year, like, cause I was inside, I was that COVID hermit, like for a number of reasons, my mental health, but also COVID and safety wise. And like now being out, I'm just like, man, I just want to like keep going out and having these experiences because
you're going through your hoe phase.
Yeah, I am, I guess. I'm down. Like,
no, and I think that's good. And keep it going. I mean, that was from 2016 to 2019. I did not stop. There was not one event that I did not go to. I mean, it was so funny. I was living in my dream city in New York, but for, I would say, minimum 10 days out of every month, I was somewhere else. You know, I was on a plane, I was doing 2 different trips per month, and it was so fun. And I think COVID hit at the perfect time for me, and that I just, oh my God, I needed a break. And so now, I guess even now 2 years later, I'm like, okay, I could probably get on a plane maybe half as much as I was. But I know for me, I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to experience, and it's so fun. And then it's like, once you do it, you're like, okay, I'm good. Like I've now that I can just come home, I'm still working a ton, but you know, I can chill with my cat or my fiance or my family now that I'm in Texas. It's like that side, you know, I'm welcoming with open arms. But I think you're in the phase where you just go. And I think that's rewarding. And that specifically is why I'm saying I think LA is good for you. And I wouldn't say that for many people, because I think LA is kind of a shit show. Me personally, I don't like it. But at the beginning of my career, I was out there a ton, and it has its own special aura, you know. I don't know. That's when I first started dating John too. And it was just like, there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped up there because the weather's always good. And there's so many YouTubers and everyone.
Sam, just based off of your facial reactions, I feel like it's LA.
Dude, my mom's going to be so upset though, because she doesn't want me to move.
Just fly her out. You get that YouTube.
No,
Yeah.
she wants
Fire
me
out
to
or-
move. She listens to every, so she's
Yeah.
gonna hear this and her ears are gonna perk up when she's typing on for work. But no, she I think
It's
I've talked
okay,
about this, but,
Sam's mom. He'll come back and visit.
I'm an only child, so like that connection to my family is very important, and just it's also just things like seeing my grandparents get old and start to have a harder time, where I'm like, I just feel like I can't do it now, and there's been like family drama and stuff. Oh shoot, I was supposed to. Never mind. That's
What?
Move on. I just nothing.
Okay.
I guess I'm supposed to call somebody. And I'll be a piece of shit if I don't. So it's just like seeing my family and that. But I also know that if I don't ever leave, number one, I know if I never leave St. Louis, I'm not going to be happy long term. And number two, I know that I will regret it. Like long term, if I'm like 30 and I like meet somebody here, I don't know. Also, I just feel like Sarah, you mentioned this, but I feel like there's not that many like-minded people like me in St. Louis. And
I mean, that's why I had to get out of Dallas. Yeah. I
I
mean,
hope that doesn't sound like an ego thing. It's just like people are just on a different page. They're like, go to my 9 to 5, get married, and grow old. I'm like, that's cool, right?
And that's
condos.
that's exactly what I felt. Buy condos,
But
yeah.
I'm sort of like, yeah. I'm just like
You got
that's sort
it.
of the
I think you owe
mentality.
it to yourself. And right now is the time. You're not gonna pick up and do this when you're 35. I promise you. So
No,
I'm like, if
I
you
know,
don't
I know.
do it now, yeah.
Can I
Not
ask
to
you
put
guys?
pressure on you.
Can I ask you guys an Apple-related question?
This is gonna be an ad. Go ahead.
It's not an ad yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got time. Sara Dietschy's on the show. Are we okay? Because the news came out. Are we okay with a 14.1-inch iPad? Is that a thing that we all agree with? Or can we just can it not happen? Is there still time to say no?
What?
Oh, I forgot I'm talking to Sam.
Go ahead. No, I'll wait.
No, go ahead. Why? Please tell me why a 14.1-inch car window sized
just
iPad is good.
That's literally the best news we've gotten for the iPad in like 3 years.
Don't give me a 14-inch iPad unless it's a freaking MacBook with a touchscreen. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't you, Sam?
I'm still holding out for that.
My brother, didn't you just
Brother
say?
in Christ.
Didn't you just say that the iPad isn't? It's not a better iPad. It's becoming a worse Mac. You just said that sentence. That's your quote.
Yeah, but I want them to make bigger screen iPad.
So
because I like bigger
but
screen
iPad.
I
You
still
just
like
ridiculed
big
iPad OS. So how is it better, bigger?
Well, I'm hoping that they will bring something unique to the table and won't just literally copy and paste iPad.
I hope they bring the table too, because I'm not going to hold a 14.1-inch iPad. That's too big.
I mean,
all I'm
listen,
saying,
you bring up good points.
Sarah?
You're not wrong.
I just think,
You're not wrong.
listen, guys. I just think the most underrated technology has been out for over a decade. And I know this is an Apple podcast, but the freaking 2-in-1 PC, okay?
No.
It feels
God.
okay, and I
I'm
know
surprised
how
Sam
blah
didn't
blah
just
blah
hang
blah
up.
blah. Okay,
yeah, I gotta
listen.
go, guys. See ya.
The
He hung up.
like the Dell XPS 2-in-1 is like my favorite. Okay,
Is it your
the
favorite?
fact, and of course, it's like I use OneNote as a note application. I use Lightroom for photo editing, and that's the thing. When I use my iPad, I only use the touchscreen for notes and the occasional photo editing. And so for me, I am 80% computer and then 20% with a pencil, right? But I enjoy that 20% and the markups and all that stuff. So when I'm on like a 2-in-1 or a touchscreen Windows laptop and I get to use that 20% on the same device, I love that. I think it is so great.
And you wouldn't consider
And
an
I'm
iPad
sorry.
attached to that Magic Keyboard a 2-in-1, right? That doesn't count?
Hell no.
Okay.
Because guess what?
iPad OS?
Because guess what? I can use Lightroom Classic on a Windows 2-in-1
Yeah.
and still use the pen. And also, I can use full apps. If I'm carrying around a laptop or just a portable device, it has to be able to edit a video. It has to be able to open up either Resolve or Premiere. I can't do anything, it's pointless if it can't do that.
Yeah. So I like.
I'm sorry I angered him.
Yeah, he's gone. I think he went to pee, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on. I need my experiences segregated. I want a machine where I'm like, okay, this is work. But then, like, I really love, I'm glad Sam's not here for this because he'd freak out. I love my iPad mini. Like, it's the best thing, and it has nothing to do with work. I don't have my email on there. I don't have anything like that on there. And
the screen sucks, but yes.
No,
I use the mini a lot too. I'm using the mini more than my 11-inch now. Yeah.
See? Oh, we're talking about the iPad mini, Sam. You came back just in time.
All right, I gotta go, guys. I'll see you later.
He's gone again. I love my iPad mini. There's no work. It's just content consumption and goodness and fun. What? Where'd he go? Are you good?
Did you end the show?
No, I didn't end the show.
First, I got a notification that said the show was destroyed. It literally said OT show destroyed.
What does that mean? No.
And then it showed a picture of the iPad mini on fire, and I was like, at least you got that part
Yeah,
right.
we hurried up, started talking about iPad mini, and then ended the show without you.
Oh,
Sarah
man.
said she likes it, by the way. Uses it more than her iPad.
I like it so because my main machine is Windows, I have to have something on me at all times for the thing. I use Things as my to-do app and for iMessage. So usually I always have an iPad on me, and I found myself gravitating more towards the mini than my iPad Pro just because it's easy to take it everywhere. But I have to say the screen sucks. I mean, I've had so many issues with the display. Just scrolling alone on a web page just makes me irk because of and again, the jelly scroll became a little bit of a meme, but it rightfully so because it sucks.
Thank you.
Nobody would have said anything if The Verge didn't say it. Like, you wouldn't notice it.
Okay, no.
John.
John, usually I am someone who pushes back on that. But
okay, guys, I gotta go.
The moment I started using it, I was like, this feels terrible. Because I use a 2020 iPad or a 2019 iPad Pro. It's an older iPad Pro, so it's not even like I have the latest and greatest, but the display difference was shocking. I mean, it is like, just put a better display on it.
Yeah. That's my problem is the price point for the hardware is not really worth it. And the jelly scroll, I also noticed the second I touched it, I said something's off. Yeah. I then saw something that confirmed that from when Dieter Bohn of The Verge tweeted that out. I was like, oh, that makes sense. This felt weird. I knew something felt weird, but I didn't know how to describe it.
And I will say the jelly scroll is one of those things that you can physically see with your eye. A lot of times you're like, oh, with this special testing tool, or if you go out of your way and do this. Like, no, when you're on the iPad, you can take your finger and just go like that on a web page and you see it wobble. Like, you see one side of the web page refreshing before the other side.
You will see the flaws in anybody if you look hard enough. And love is not about seeing the flaws, okay, everybody?
I mean, somebody on the iPad team from Apple.
We need to normalize.
Somebody from the iPad team has to send this guy like review units because he'll just be like, he'll be like, do the battery not work? Is the processor an A3 chip? But if you look hard enough, you will find any flaw. That's what he's gonna do every review like that.
The battery literally lasts 20 minutes on iOS 16, and you're like, no, it's just a little worse.
We never finished this conversation. iOS 16 is actually one of the most stable betas for anybody listening.
That is not true, Sam.
It is actually. We have the exact same phone. It is the exact same phone, exact same build, and I can tell you my battery life, it's probably about 10% worse than it was before. But
you are lying to Sara Dietschy.
I'm not. Guys,
I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment on the betas because, part of the beta developer NDA is that you don't share or do screenshots about it or anything.
We're not. There's no screenshots here. It's fine.
There's a beta developer NDA.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to
be invited back?
Well, I guess I'm not going to Apple. Okay, but what's the point then? Why would you release it if we can't talk about it?
I think you're allowed to. You can't share screenshots. You can't do screen recordings. Yeah, because the idea is, it's a vulnerable state. It's not finished. So you don't want to give the public an impression of something that is still in the works.
That's true.
Well, I have made many videos about it, and to Apple, I am sorry because I did not know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother.
You probably will not be invited back. So,
well,
developer Sam still has a chance. Just saying.
I will just say to the Apple people watching, iOS 16 is great. I'm also defending it though. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm being fair. And everything I've said in my videos is like, this is beta 1. I'm not like, I bet OS sucks and it's never going to get better, guys. This is it. Like I've mentioned, this is an early beta. Like there's definitely time for things to change.
I feel like Apple needs to... Yeah, I feel like Apple needs to do a better job because they've done such a good job with their WWDC events being entertaining. And now I feel like it's not just developers tuning in, it's like the general public, right? So I feel like they need to stress way more that, hey, these are our flashy new features, but they need to explicitly say this is a beta, which means do not install it on your main device. If you are not a developer, this is for you come the fall, So they've almost like made another problem because they've made these events so entertaining that the general public is not watching. So I feel like they need to clarify those things.
It's funny you said that because John Gruber has a podcast that is actually like watchable. It's called The Talk Show. It's a good podcast, is what I'm saying. And they had like an actual official Apple event where he was at Apple Park and he interviewed Jaws. He interviewed Craig. Was that it? Was just those two?
It was Jaws and Craig.
And they mentioned in the episode that, which was very interesting, and it's kind of expected, their virtual events have been received very, very well by the public. And like you said, it has introduced more people. It's more accessible this way. It's more digestible this way because it's flashier, it's showier. And so regular people, they can get just as excited too. And it makes me wonder, like,
they're never going back.
Yeah, can we ever go back to strictly just in-person Apple events all the time? Because they mentioned during that show too that it's that they missed the connection. Like there's a very important connection of doing it on stage in front of people, but also they weren't shy in saying that it did really well for them organically and publicly. So I feel like moving forward, something like we had at WWDC where people were invited, some media was invited, developers were invited to watch the keynote or whatever. But in reality, it's a hybrid event, and the live stream is very well produced. I don't know. I feel like I don't know how they're going to go back.
Because I wasn't able to make the event, I did a live stream right after the event, not during the event, but right after. And something I said was like, I don't think anyone knew, hey, is it going to be live or is it going to be one of, the recordings? And it was one of those things where I was like, wow, this doesn't shock me because it had the Craig transitions. It had all these things that are now these common themes, right? And it's so much entertaining. Like, think about it. The in-person events, when you have an Apple executive just talking on stage, that is for only the maybe 500 people in the room. Would you rather cater to those 500 people or the actual millions that are at home?
Exactly.
And so I think... Yeah. And so I think they're now taking that into account. And I would not be shocked if they at least have an element, maybe half of it, maybe the first 30 minutes, that's maybe just like a hype reel where, they cover everything that people can watch and they just keep that for forever. And then maybe they only prioritize media when there's actual hardware to be seen.
Sam, I'm going to put you on the spot because you were actually there. So the way it feels
disappointed.
The way it feels to me is like, I don't know, man. I feel like they have to do it this way because they control way more the narrative this way. Before it was like it's considered a press event. They speak to the press. The press sits there on their fucking laptops and they post on The Verge, and then everyone else reads it through the eyes of the press. Whereas this way, Apple can be quirky and relatable and feed into the memes and almost respond to the internet's reactions to previous events. And they can, instead of just letting The Verge do all the talking or media outlets like that do all the talking, they get to make it fun for everyone else to sort of feel like they're involved too. Do you think, when you were there in person, would you be okay with, assuming you're media, going there, and do you think it presents you with the same opportunity for coverage? Or, like, would you rather just be a media-only event, speak as Sam Kohl, but also just as an Apple fan, assuming that you'll never go to Apple Park as a fan? Do you personally prefer the on-stage talk at the press keynotes, live keynotes, or was this a hybrid experience like almost there? Was it good enough? Was it nice for you?
Well, John, honestly, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by the big wireless providers, if I've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, John Prosser, what's the catch, man? What's the freaking catch? But
there is no catch.
I talked to them. I've been using their service, and I said, you know what? It all made sense, John. The in-person Apple events, me being invited as media, we will continue to manifest this. It's because, John, there isn't one. Like you said, it's Mint Mobile's secret sauce. They're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the retail stores, the middle people. They pass those sweet, sweet savings onto you.
You can bring your own phone. You can buy a phone from them. You can buy a plan for just you. You can buy a plan for your whole family. Use the same networks as the same towers as the big networks around you. In fact, coverage is better with Mint Mobile than it was with my previous provider. I don't think I'm allowed to say who that was, but coverage is better. And also, the bill is so low every month that it feels like free. It feels like I'm stealing.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like I've been using them for I think a year now, basically with the podcast, and it's so handy to not like I use it as a business line. You could use it as your main line. My friend switched and uses it as his main line. He loves it. It's like sweet. There's literally no catch. It's amazing. Like John said, bring your own phone, switch to Mint Mobile, get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. So get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Get the plan shipped to your door free. Go to mintmobile.com/genius. That is mintmobile.com/genius. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/genius.
Thank you, Mint Mobile. Sam, did you hear anything I said?
That was a really big buildup, man.
But you were just sitting there waiting for me to shut up so you could do that. Oh, by the way, welcome to the Idiot Bar.
100%. Yeah, welcome to the Idiot Bar.
Time to chill. None of this counts. No one watches this part. Get comfy.
Sarah, I mean, you got to be honest. Nobody else has as much fun on their podcast in the tech space, right?
Oh, yeah. It's so fun. I mean, ever since I stopped my podcast, I think I should just like come back on y'all's like once a month until my podcast comes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever invited yourself to anybody else's podcast?
No. Y'all were the first one.
Yeah.
Just because it's and you know, I was giving y'all crap in the beginning. And one, I sobered up so quickly, by the way.
No!
Nothing like two guys that look like us to sober you up.
I think the first 30 minutes, but hey, I am here now. But I will say, for the same reason that maybe recording a podcast at night can be not annoying, but just challenging in terms of like calendar stuff, it's actually very enjoyable.
Isn't it?
Because I don't have something after, it does seem like I'm hanging out with friends. So yeah, I mean, you guys make it an enjoyable time, but I think also just the format is great. You guys do a great job here at the Genius Bar. So yeah, for me, it's just a good time.
I feel like you left to the last episode and went, holy fuck, that was terrible. But then you had time to think about it.
No.
You're like, wait a minute.
It's so fun. No, I enjoyed it so much. And you guys instantly just felt like homies. And so like a lot of times I do podcasts where I feel like I have to be very, like I just sit up straight and I have to
that's the opposite
about what I say.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about what I say at all here.
Yeah.
So.
That's the goal. Okay, so let me answer John's question.
Yes.
I have to say, this was my first Apple event, so take what I say into context, right? Like I was on 12 and it was one of those things that I don't know, it was kind of weird where the second that I stepped on Apple Park's campus, I was like, I didn't have any imposter syndrome. I was like, I feel like I belong here. Like this feels like home to me. Like these are my people. And so I was not nervous at all. Like I remember I woke up and my stomach was a little like, a little butterfly, kind of nervousy. But as soon as I actually got to Apple Park, I don't know, man. I just felt comfortable. And like, I feel like you can sort of see that in the vlog, which if you guys haven't watched, I should actually pull it up because I can like show you guys what I'm talking about in the actual vlog. If I type WWDC vlog, will it come up? Oh my God, it's the first result. No way. That actually got decent views. I'm actually really happy about that. Nice.
Do you know why you're the only WWDC vlog, Sam?
No, Crystal Laura also did one too.
I was going to say, because the media, you're the only quote unquote developer that brought a camera.
No, look, Kata Mongs. Wait, who is? Didn't see her. There's a lot of cool people. Anyway, I should tell you guys the story. I met her like in passing. We got to have her on the podcast. Dude, I was so mad. So I met Crystal Laura, which is amazing tech YouTuber. And she was talking to Brian Tong right before I met at Brian Tong. And I was like, hey, Crystal, I don't know if I've ever said hey before, but like, I'm Sam. And she was so nice and so cool. And then she left and her sister Gabriella was there and Gabriella was really nice. And as soon as she walked away, I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't ask her to be on the podcast. Like, I literally had this direct connection to be like, I've been trying to get in contact with you for a year. And I didn't do it.
Way to go. I bet you didn't ask Tim to come on either.
Anyway, she was wonderful. She was obviously media, so she got to hang out with all the dope people. But my vlog, first of all, I was really proud with how it turned out.
It is great.
I spent a decent amount of time on it. So yeah, I mean, basically.
How Casey Neistat of you to put that date in bold text in the center of your screen.
You would know.
I know.
Yeah,
got him.
And the date.
Yeah, Casey Neistat Jr.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so 6 years ago.
So yeah, I show up to the event. Basically, here's what it's like when you actually get to Apple Park. Like, I made a dumb joke. So yeah, we were just like inside. It was awesome. This is the actual keynote area. Okay, so here we go. This is like a good visual example of what I'm talking about. They had 3 screens set up. 2 were in the shade. 1 was in the sun. I didn't put sunscreen on. I said, hey, I'm going to sit in the sun because I'm a sim idiot. So I get burned to hell out here because I chose to. Like, I fully chose to because I wanted a good spot. And I will say, the energy was nuts. The crowd was awesome. Like, a couple people around me, I got to talk to them and we'd like, make comments to each other when something cool would come up on the screen. This actually made me think that I think Apple is making a mistake by not inviting normal fans and normal people, like maybe 100, to their events normally. Because these people bring so much excitement, so much hype. They're so ready to be there that, the media people get a little bit excited too. Don't get me wrong. That's incredible. And there should be space, I believe, for those people. But I think as far as if you want to like start showing the crowd, dude, if you're like, we're going to put you in the front row at this Apple event and you're an Apple fan, I don't know. I just think that'd be a really good option.
But I feel like you're like a good example of that though, because they don't want to just bring anyone. But if you bring like a new developer, or they have that program where they bring like high school kids and college kids, so I feel like they have ways to do it where they're not just inviting random people, but it's still people their first time. It seems am I having weird aliasing? Why are there like dots? Anyways, sorry. I'm distracting myself, but yeah, because I feel like they have programs that do that, because I feel like you don't want just complete random showing up to California,
Fair.
But
no, well,
but
my
like
point is they do this at Dub,
developers,
like at every event, I feel like that would be really, really helpful, because I think they have been doing that for years at Dub. But that's a good point. Yeah. Just like maybe people that's a good point.
Yeah. And I will say too, no, because it's a good point. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not like contradicting you. It's a good point. I'm pointing out maybe like ways that they do it and they could keep doing it. Because I feel like for me, 4 or 5 years ago, I had no place being an Apple event. I had like maybe 300,000 subscribers. I was still pretty new on the scene. And then I got the Apple invite and I was like, what? This is what? And I went there and I had that excitement of a person who had never been there. And so I feel like they do a really good job of keep looping in new creators. And what I'm noticing them doing now is I follow some kind of like artsy fartsy people, some people in like some Southeast Asian countries who are maybe more, I don't know if you've seen this type of content, but it's literally like ASMR vlogging where they'll wake up, they'll make a beautiful matcha green tea, they'll sit at their desk with their custom mechanical keyboard and their iPad set up and their Mac, and they'll just sit and they'll develop and and so it's these really niche aesthetic vlogger tech people that now they're sending product to, and you would never think, and a lot of them don't even talk in their videos, but somehow they have Apple review units. And so I think
so
Apple
cool.
is actually unique in that they find these random niches on YouTube and to seed devices to, and sometimes they invite them to events. I think they're one of the best at doing that in a low key way. A lot of people don't notice because it's like the most random niches of YouTube. But I think they should just do more of that because I think you're right. It does add like a extra element,
Sam,
My cat is about.
Just start another channel where you're not talking and name it not Sam Kohl. Oh,
Oh, hi, Judy.
Oh, cute.
Judy, say hi. You got a full screen, Judy.
Oh,
he's
there
posing so perfectly.
Oh, so pretty.
Judy, say hi. Judy, look.
Oh, what a
Judy.
perfect looking cat.
Did you say Judy's a boy?
Yeah, Mr. Judy.
Mr. Judy.
Why am I just learning this now?
That happens all the time.
It's a boy.
Did you think it was a girl and then you're like, uh-oh.
I will say, so he's gonna sit right in front of my camera.
Did you not lift up like the pants or
the pants?
No.
No, you don't know early on, Sam. You don't.
Wait, what?
I had a cat
it was
named
the opposite.
Edgar.
So he's
I thought Edgar was a dude.
He's a 9-year-old adoptee.
He's a what?
He's a 9-year-old adopted cat. So we got him at this like humane society, and so we just read the adoption papers, and the person had bad handwriting, and it said July, but we misread the cursive L as a D. And so we just thought it was a guy cat named Judy. How quirky of the previous owners. And we kept calling him Judy, and then we didn't figure it out. Exactly. And July is a dumber name than Judy, so we just went with Judy.
That's not a name.
But also fuck gender norms. There's not a rule for names.
Don't hold Judy to a gender, man. He can be whatever he wants.
A free spirit.
Exactly.
I had a cat named Edgar who I think it was like, I still call him he. I got him and he was like 4 weeks old, which is way too young to be weaned away from his mother. And I spent like so long looking at pictures online to see if it's a boy or a girl. And I just got it wrong. I was like, it's a boy, Edgar. And then Edgar went into heat. And I was like, oh, that's not a boy.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So,
Judy.
Miss Edgar.
Judy got fixed, but he still gets freaky with it occasionally. That's how we know when he's comfortable. So we just moved, and only 3 days in, he was starting to get a little humpy on his bed.
That's how you know when Sam's comfortable too. He gets a little freaky. Starts humping stuff.
Jesus Christ. Dude, I said don't tell that on the podcast. Leave that offline, bro.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad Judy decided to guest star. I mean, you guys, you got Sara Dietschy and Judy.
I know.
What a treat.
Is it Judy Peachy?
Or Judy Dietschy?
We should probably establish that. I guess Judy, well, since I take him to the vet, I guess it's Judy Dietschy.
Huh.
That's what they have in the system. Judy Dietschy.
Also known as July Dietschy.
Exactly.
Getting back to the Apple event.
Sam.
Also, guys, if you want to know, sorry, this is the last tangent. I'm so sorry to take over your podcast again, Sam. But if you want to know why my light is randomly flashing, is I have one small aperture light here, but my main key light is the studio display. I have it on a white Best Buy homepage. And I have it plugged into my Windows PC via a DisplayPort USB crappy dongle.
Well,
so it doesn't work very well.
I'm just so used to you having sponsorships that I just feel like that was just one big brand deal. Like on my Windows PC, I have Best Buy website pulled up on my studio display.
Well, actually, shout out to Best Buy. We got some more videos coming out soon.
Oh, God.
Anyways, go for it, Sam.
May I ask how you get into contact with Best Buy? Like, do they reach out to you or do you just send like a cold email? Because that's a store I shop at.
I mean, they reach out to me. Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
No,
I get it. No,
have
that's cool. That's
manager
cool.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
super cool.
Yeah.
No, me too. Yeah. I'll have my people. I'll have my people reach out. Yeah.
I mean, technically
John,
you do,
John,
Sam.
Hey, stop eating all the cheesecake. I said call Best Buy. No, fucking call Best Buy. I'm done with your bullshit, John. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about him.
Why is
Sorry.
his name
he's
also
been way
John?
out of control. Oh, I'm sorry. I just, it just happened. I have two people I can be aggressive on.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to the Apple event. No, I appreciate that, Sarah. Apple event. I do think it was a bit okay. Here was my only thing is at WWDC 2017 and WWDC 2019, the hardware that Apple announced got to be seen by everyone, from what I could tell. Like developers that were there in 17 and 19 got to see the HomePod that was just announced. Developers in 19 got to see the Pro Display XDR and the new Mac Pro. When the keynote, like I guess I haven't talked about this, when the keynote ended, like the live stream ended, the screen just was done. Like no one came out to say anything. It was just like 1,000 people watching the movie, and then the credits rolled, and it was like,
you're on your own.
Okay. Yeah, it was just like, so that part, and I want to be clear, this event was probably the most well-run thing I've ever been to in my life. And I'm not saying that to simp. I'm saying it genuinely. The security was in lock. The people were super friendly. Everyone was incredibly helpful. It just felt incredibly organized. Like the fact that they even pulled this off, I just thought it was funny. That's probably like the one thing they didn't think of is like, what do we do after the keynote? Because I was genuinely like, oh my God, I'm going to get to touch the MacBook Air. And then, word traveled very fast. Hands-on area is Steve Jobs Theater. Hands-on area is Only Media, which, I get. Like the Steve Jobs Theater would not be the place to accommodate 1,000+ people. But I think it would have been very cool to let everyone that spent a day at, to go to California for this, if they would have gotten to like see the hardware or maybe have a developer only hardware area, even if they were like, you can't take any photos or videos, for whatever reason. I still think it
I didn't know that.
Unsatisfying to, yeah, it was kind of unsatisfying to see the
like
new
that,
MacBook Air and new MacBook Pro and not get to touch it. But know that all your media, I mean, for me, it was like knowing all my media friends get to see it, but not the actual developers.
Do you think that would be
event.
normal?
That was the only thing
that was just a COVID thing, like just a safety thing, just to have the.
I assume it might be a COVID thing. Also, I don't know where they would have done it at Apple Park. Like,
did the developers have like dedicated time to see it outside of the first day? Do you know? Like if they were going to sessions and then, I don't know.
It was only a 1-day thing. Like everything else for DevDev was online. From my understanding, it was only a media get to see M2. Which again, I was just kind of like, it was just unsatisfying. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get to see it. And then it was like, nobody said anything. It wasn't even like, it was random.
Also, they totally made me look
nominal.
Bad. Like I had leaked a week or two before that it was a hybrid in-person event, and they put out the press release saying it was all online, and it was definitely a hybrid event.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of prefer that though. Like
just to spite you.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want. I do miss the fully in-person like on-stage keynotes, but I really love the creativity they can have with the virtual ones.
I mean, it's so good. I mean, it's amazing that we've had 2 years for companies to really figure it out, and of course, Apple was like the only one to figure it out.
Yikes.
Yeah,
and they figured it out like immediately. Like
immediately
when they announced
like
the
Samsung
all virtual
tried.
dub, it was perfect.
Oh yeah, no, Apple's killed it from the beginning. So basically, my takeaway is, the virtual events are the best if you're not going to be there. I think the in-person events are the best if you're there because, like, for all intents and purposes, it was just us sitting watching a TV screen for 2 hours.
It was like a drive-in,
the event. Yeah, that is what the event part was. And like you could have been more comfortable or more. I'm not saying this again to be ungrateful in any way. I'm more than happy that I was there. I have no complaints. Please don't put me on like the even worse list. But like for real, like if you are gonna be there, it's like, what if you went to a concert and they just played a live stream of a concert? You'd kind of be like, it's cool to be here with everybody that vibes. Like I'm not but it's also like you would like to see some performance.
Well, but you're just describing a DJ though, so people do that.
And you did get to see Tim and Craig, sort of.
Hey, a DJ's still there doing something live. It's not pre.
Yeah, but they press play and they're like,
You've never seen a real DJ.
I've seen Zed and Calvin Harris.
You've never seen the Austin DJ who plays I don't even know. I can't even make a joke. No, I'm just, I see what you're saying. That's a very fair comparison.
All right.
Was Calvin Harris good, by the way? Was that a good DJ?
I will say, I said that as a joke, but it was like one of the most lit things I've ever been a part of. It was like senior year of high school. And so this was peak.
Oh my God.
So this was like 2012, 2013.
Oh my God.
And it was peak EDM. And it was at ACL in Austin. So it was in Zilker Park, what you were talking about. And
Zilker, baby.
it was Zed and then Calvin Harris. So literally Zed opened up for Calvin Harris. So it was like 2 straight hours of just like vibes and all hits.
Wow.
You know, everyone knew every single song, and it was like the funnest thing of my life. So yeah, it actually was lit.
That's so cool. I love that.
Well, Sam, is there anything else you want to talk about in this fine podcast episode?
I'm trying to think about Dub if there's anything that we haven't. Oh, I keep forgetting to install watchOS 9. I was on a run tonight and I was like, I'm definitely in an unsafe heart rate zone, but I didn't get to see it because I forgot to install the update. Oh, Judy.
I feel like I'm the only. I feel like I'm like the only tech YouTuber who just like doesn't care about the watch, but I care about it.
The watch,
but it just seems.
Yeah, well,
I'll wear it when I work out. But it just seems, in terms of like updates and stuff, I'm like, what can they actually do that elevates the experience that's that much different? I don't know.
I'll tell you, Sarah.
Obviously, the health monitoring and
there's going to be a thermometer in the Apple Watch Series 8. And Sarah, you talked about motherhood. And there's a thing or two I know about motherhood. It's that ovulation is involved.
That is true.
So this new watch, it's going to say, "Hey, Sarah, you're looking quite fertile today." Why did I just say that out loud? I can't say that out. That sounds. I didn't mean.
It's the watch saying it. It's not Sam saying it. It's fine.
So the watch will tell.
Oh my gosh!
The watch will tell you
temperature thing.
If you're fertile or not fertile.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really the only thing I think they can add. I don't know. I mean, I'm a man. Like that doesn't help me at all. Or I should say, a biological.
Well, no,
Sam, you're looking quite fertile today, my dude.
But that actually that actually affects a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of a cool feature, and like something focused on women rather than like the white male tech demographic that everything is developed for. I feel like would be cool.
The evil white men.
Yeah, specifically the evil ones. It's why are we making things for the evil guys? What about the white knights, the good guys like me? I mean, where's my temperature sensor?
You want to know when you're fertile?
Anyway.
Before we go, there is a rumor of a January Apple event.
Yeah, can't end on that.
Yeah, I know. We need to dance far away from that.
Jesus, dude.
There's a rumor of a January Apple event, January 2023, to give us the AR VR headset that nobody cares about.
What?
I care.
Yeah, what? That's like what I'm most excited for. You just say things that are like crazy, man.
What? No, I thought it was a general consensus that nobody cares.
What? No, I'm so excited.
Well, of course you are.
I will say after like using the Oculus more, I will say I'm like, if someone can just make this, I feel like there's a word for an experience like this where when you're into it and you try it for the first, second, and third time, you're so into it. It's amazing. It's life-changing. Oh my God. But it seems like so much work to repeatedly do that. So it's not as sticky. I think the marketing world calls it sticky, right? It's not sticky because it's just such a process to boot up and put on your face. And oh no, I'm wearing makeup, so I don't want the ring that I get after I use VR. So I will say the thing that this world needs is the thing that you can just carelessly put on your face. It doesn't leave a mark. It's lightweight. We're still far off from that. I'm sure the Apple VR will still be a little bulky, but any step in the right direction where it's just easier to use and less bulky is very exciting. Because I've actually like used VR more this past year, and I'm like, wait, it's actually really fun.
I just hear VR and I get motion sick.
I know, and I understand that.
But hey, what if Apple can solve that? Like I think I've said this for a while.
Miracle. I'm in.
Well, I've been saying like the only thing Apple needs to do, They do not have to make this great, insane, like game-changing product. They just need to make it more accessible. Because listen, Oculus is getting there, and I say this is
more
someone
accessible.
Who's not
Isn't it rumored to be like $3,000?
I'm talking about ease of use wise. Like, obviously, I mean, dude, they're putting like 2 8K displays for the lenses. Like, it's not going to be cheap. I mean,
no one said it's not. No one said that. It's not cheap.
I'm talking about accessible as far as the technology. I'm not talking about like accessible price wise to the most people. I'm talking about someone who may not be familiar with VR, which is like somebody like me,
approachable,
touches this and they're like, oh,
approachable. Approachable is probably a better word.
Approachable is the right word. They need to make it approachable. Yeah, exactly. Not accessible. But I mean, I think there's a huge opportunity for Apple here. I also will be straight up and saying, I don't want to live in a world of VR. Like, I'm not somebody that wants to like, John, are we going to do this podcast with like memojis in virtual reality? Like, we're going to have to do it once to try it. But like, that doesn't sound fun.
But what if it works and people love it? Memoji.
I will say, listen, I will say a version of that though is having your audience and doing it live in VR, because I had a very limited experience, but of just like playing golf with random people in VR on the internet and just feeling like you're there in the same room with like randoms. Like, that's a cool feeling. So even if it's not you with the guest, but say you have an audience, you sell tickets and it's like an audience of 100 of your super fans and you can see their face and you see a little light above, their head when they want to ask a question. I think that world will be interesting because I think it'll bring a lot of people together from around the world, but it's definitely a balance. I'm not ready either to just put on the goggles for 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
the Oculus has something like that where you can like sit in a virtual movie theater and watch movies with people.
Yeah. That's a little silly, but because I feel like you have to be interacting. Because it's like if I'm just watching something, I don't need people around me. I don't know.
Sup? That's it.
Yeah.
And then they go shh. And it's just like the real movie theater. Like, can you turn your fucking phone off, please?
Yeah. But imagine if it was like a forum where like people were asking questions or maybe they were rating you live. Like, if there was a way to literally be like, oh, let Sam talk more. Sarah, shut up. I can imagine that.
Bro, they're just like, you guys fell off and got ratioed. That's going to be everybody. Oh, L. Anytime I speak, it's just like LL. That's good. They're just spamming that emoji. Anytime Sarah John speak, it's like.
Thank you, everybody. I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else? I mean, how are we getting through this summer? I mean, this has been the last Apple event since I presume September, correct?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I treat the summer as just pre-September.
At least September's like the big stuff,
Yeah. September,
Sarah,
October. I just need the summer to gear up for it.
Sarah, how do you deal with the ups and downs of YouTube? I've been really struggling with that.
My kitty. Get a cat.
You need a cat.
See, I don't have any pets.
Okay.
Do I need a pet to take my anger out on?
Like beat it?
Sorry.
So I joke, but literally Judy is like, I think the best thing that I don't know John loves Judy as well. So I'll say for us, I feel like it's the best thing that happened to us in a while. Cause I don't know. And I grew up with cats. But it feels like my little, not human, because obviously it's not a human, but I don't know. I get so much joy from like taking care of something and knowing I saved Judy. And I don't know, like, I was just chilling in here in the office and then he was like, hey, human, I'm going to sit right where you're doing your work.
I demand your attention.
Exactly. And that's actually been very nice. But I think you just have to keep chugging along, knowing your boundaries. And I think for me, at the end of the day, you can't tie your happiness to views or engagement, as cliche as that sounds. But I know for me,
I've made that
easy to say, hard to do.
I'm working out of that mistake.
But I will say, Yeah, I will say, I think a lot of tech, I'm saying that as someone whose views are down. I know a lot of people who are like Mr. Beast. It's like, oh yeah, you just got to suck it up and views don't matter. And then, they're getting tens of millions of views.
Yeah.
Like,
100 million views of video.
Exactly. This summer, I feel like there has been a severe tech slump, and I'm just kind of using the opportunity to make some videos that I want to make. Supply chain stuff. People aren't as excited about hardware. The 2020 bump was insane. So I think it's just adjusting expectations and also realizing
you're going to watch a Mac Studio review. Good luck trying to fucking buy one.
Exactly.
Speaking of,
so I think it's also a new
Mac
challenge.
Studio, Sarah?
I did one video and then I just returned it. And then I missed the return window for the studio display. And so I just kept the studio display. This better not be my channel. Whose channel is this?
That's Marquez.
Okay.
I'm just using the, I'm not, by the way, I'm not doing this to like, I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm just
me.
So no. I'm gonna go through all of us, and we're gonna take
no. Don't pull at me. But you can.
Okay.
You can pull at Marquez.
Out of respect,
I'm exiting this podcast if you pull at me. By the way.
Okay, I will respect you. I'm pulling this up as an example of the biggest tech YouTuber. I mean, guys, there was a month in 2020 where Marquez Brownlee got 90 million views.
Sweet mama.
Yeah.
On tech, guys. And you look now, and he's down a bit. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying this to be like, ha, look. I'm saying this to highlight that even the biggest tech creator is
and
not
it was
as
a different
poppy
world
as we
back
were 2
then.
years ago.
Yeah, people were locked in. 2020 was the best. Well, I can't say the best year of my career.
They were updating their setup.
It was definitely for
growth-wise, 2020 was the biggest year because they had no choice.
But look at John Prosser. Look at this guy.
Sara
He's
Dietschy.
the most consistent. No, it's not. Don't say that. I don't want her to leave. This is front page tech. Look at how consistent this man is. He's just absolutely shooting bangers.
Is it really though?
But look at John's sub growth, Sarah. Isn't that crazy?
I have crazy
39,000 subscribers. Isn't that that's nuts?
Yeah, 2020 was just like that was everyone is losing their jobs. Everyone's stuck inside, and then the YouTubers over here are like sucking it up, getting all the views because no one else can leave.
Look at this. I got 5.5 million views in a month, dog.
When was that?
September 2020.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was October because that's when the iPhones. I have never even gotten, so I've gotten to half of that. But as you can see, like I've been down. Yeah, like I've been under 1 million views. Wait, I was under 1 million views in 2021? Wow, I don't remember that. Perspective, man. Huh. I actually did not know that. But, it's like I got so used to this growth period and then now it's just sort of been a bit more stagnant and stable. And wait, I got 25,000 subs in a month before.
Yeah, that same big month, it looks like.
I also just don't remember that. Like, that was also the saddest point in my entire life. My girlfriend had literally dumped me this month. So it was a very weird thing to be like, I'm making
and you were like, eat shit, look at this YouTube
amount of money. Yeah, no. I was like, I've made more money than I ever have in my life. Yeah, I'm the saddest I've ever been.
Isn't that how it goes, though?
Yeah.
I don't know, John. You tell me.
That's how it goes, Sam. That's how it goes. On that note.
No, wait. I don't want to end yet. I'm having too much fun. Okay, we can end. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of point out that, there is a growth. Telos of Tech made an interesting video where he just called everybody out and he was like, hey, look, everybody's views are down. And it was like Marquez, Justine, and then he put me up there. And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting called out. Wait, I got to find the frame from this video now just to show you guys.
No. Drew?
Yeah, Drew.
Hey, look, that was Sam Kohl right there on the thingy.
Yeah.
Right there on the right.
Let's talk about the future of this channel, which I was very interested because, he's been he uploads.
That's a conversation daily, I have with myself every day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of this channel myself.
We should do this as a meme format. Anytime
I like how you watched the whole ad and you had the chance to skip it, but you're like, nah, I'm going to let it go.
No, it made me watch it. It was one of those. Okay, so where's the part where he doesn't call everybody out. He's just like, here we go. So look at this. Everyone, look at, oh Oh my God, look at Unbox Therapy, dude.
Where is he?
He's at the top.
Oh.
Mm.
Isn't that crazy though?
Oh, look, I update.
Yeah, look, like he puts me with Marquez, The Verge. I just did it Unbox Therapy. It's like, oh, I update. It's like 2 million views. That's like the worst. I mean, wow, even iJustine was popping 30 mil views in September 19. That is awesome. Like, I mean, look at The Verge, man.
I would like to put okay. This is a safe space. This is the idiot bar. Sarah, she invited herself back, so I can say things I wouldn't have said the first time. Right? The first time I'm like, I got to be careful, but if she invited herself back after that, then I'm good. I can say whatever. I think that we should manufacture another pandemic. I'm just saying, we all had the best month, okay?
It's not going to work.
But in order to replicate it, though, you would also need the Fed on your side to give everyone more stimulus checks, though, so that they can buy a new iPad or buy a new standing desk. So there's a lot, and then you would increase inflation even more.
So it's we're
in the high 8s now.
It's got to be bad.
It would be even worse.
Yeah. Sarah, how's your Robinhood looking today in this official bear market?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I don't invest.
Oh no, I'm not saying that to shit on you.
So
I'm also in the trenches.
Yeah, like, dude. It's painful, but at the same time, it's like, I was doing. God, I don't know if I want to admit this, but it's good for me. But I'm someone who believes in Bitcoin and Ethereum. But the moment I saw the Fed, okay, we're doing all these rate hikes and all this stuff, I'm like, okay, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have proven that they are not an inflation hedge. People love to say that, but it's not. They're a very speculative asset. So when people have money to spend, they will pour it in there. But the moment rates start to increase, the moment people have less money, the moment there's recession talks, Bitcoin's going to be the first to go. So luckily I liquidated all of my crypto. I would say back in, I don't know, months ago, basically at like 44 for Bitcoin and around 3,000 for Ethereum. So yes, but I still have a ton of my tech stocks. But I was just like, Bitcoin moves like a tech stock, and I rather hold Apple and Google and companies that produce real products in a recession and through these times. And so, I just moved all that crypto to cash because, hey, there's going to be opportunities, in the next 6 months. So, luckily I did that. But in terms of the normal stock market, I'm in pain just like everyone else. But we ain't selling, but I'm not rushing to buy either. So. We'll just wait to see.
I've been holding everything. I've actually never sold any crypto since I started buying it in 2017. I've been
nice.
I've been saving it because I guess my perspective is like I know it's gonna go down and pretty significantly. Like I bought some Bitcoin, like a couple $1,000 of it probably when it was at like 39, 40. With the idea that's like it's probably gonna go down from here, but. Number one, it's a way for me to not see the money in my account and not spend it like in my checking account. And number two, I don't need the money right now. Like I'm blessed enough to have like a good monthly income to where I don't have to like really ever pull out of those. So I'm in it for the long run. And I am somebody that really believes in cryptocurrency and the value that it offers. I'm also not someone who's like NFT moo Elon Musk. Forever.
Yeah.
No stock USD dead.
Forever.
Like I'm not one of those people. Like I feel like I'm a pretty rational person where like I've seen it as an investment. I also feel like money has generally not been innovated upon that much since the credit card, and that there are a lot of opportunities specifically with companies.
I mean, it's here. It's here for the
payments.
It's here for the long run, but it's like. I feel like I had those like 4 or 5 years of holding from 2017 Bitcoin, and excuse me, Judy's just looking at himself, but 2017
Judy's
Bitcoin.
Like, fuck these stocks, man. Who needs them?
To March 2020 when it was like at 4,000 lows. So it's like I had that pain of buying during those times. So I was like, you know what? I want to buy a Tesla with my profits. And I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, the more speculative stuff, I actually might buy and sell a little bit, but everything else, hodl for life.
Wait, what
right?
Tesla? What Tesla did you buy?
A Model Y long range. So yeah, I made a video about it, but it was like at the time also, it's hilarious. Like people roasted me for selling Bitcoin for that, but it's pretty hilarious that my Tesla has appreciated more than Bitcoin since then. Because car prices are so expensive. So I literally off of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think I had a cost basis of like $14K for Bitcoin and like pretty low for Ethereum. And I like profited $55K. So I just bought a Tesla outright with that cash. So it worked out. Of course, I have to pay taxes on that. But a lot of it was like short-term capital gains. So so it worked out. But again, if you don't need anything, like I needed a car, I moved to Texas. So it's like, those are the cases when investment pays off. And then, I'll get a nicer car than I thought I was going to get. But if you don't need anything, and if you believe in something, like, there's no reason to speculate, because it's hard to, no one can ever time it perfectly, selling and buying, right? So.
Unless you're one of our Congress people that gets to trade stocks.
Yeah, unless you're Nancy Pelosi or her husband.
Dude, they're all crooks.
They're not feeling fertile.
That should be allowed, dude. That's just the most, like, the fact that people in the U.S. that have direct control and insider knowledge of those things that they can trade, that's actually insane. That's just like a free win.
Yep.
Pay to win, literally.
Well, kids, is that all? We went over 2 hours. We did it.
That's what I wanted.
With Sara Dietschy.
I'll take a picture of Judy as well.
I was going to say,
so everyone smile.
Yeah.
I'm going to, hold on. I got a full screen, y'all, and we'll put Judy in the background, okay?
Okay.
Oh, I don't think I can full screen on eCam.
What do you need to do?
No,
I'm sorry if the audience... I just did Command plus and we're good. Okay, here we go, guys. Everyone smile. 3. Oh, Judy, don't lick yourself. Don't lick yourself. Oh, there we go.
Judy,
perfect.
Get yourself together.
Much, y'all. This is so
Thanks,
cute.
Guys.
We'll put.
Is that the green iPhone, Sarah?
Yep.
Oh, it is.
Pretty cool. Nice.
We'll put Judy in the thumbnail instead of Sarah, I think.
I think that's perfect.
Feet Sara Dietschy's cat.
Sarah, thank you so much for coming on again and being a returning guest. And we hope that you had enough fun to come back again, invite yourself back again.
Yes.
I am going to invite myself for a third time.
Okay, yeah! We did it, Sam. Oh, he's playing the music. That means it's over.
Well, guys, we did it.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you. We love you. Sara Dietschy is now sober. I am sober. And John is also sober.
Also sober. See you guys next week.
Gonna see you next week. Bye, guys. We will still be sober. Mom, I am sober.
Very sober.
Dad, I am very sober. To Apple Media Team.
Very sober.
I will be sober by the time I show up. Do you think anybody's ever done that? Do you think anybody's ever like shown up to an Apple event like drunk or high? I feel like some of the people from like Engadget back in the day would have done that.
Bye.
Or the people from
goodbye.
CNET now. Goodbye. Like the people from CNET now. They've been mean to my boy Brian Tong, so I don't stand for that.
Oh, this is such a great picture, by the way.
I'm gonna stop starting a war with everybody. We love you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.